Alright, so we were saying that if you would like to create an application, a database application, I mean the database file, there are some templates that are already available. You can just click on one of them if you want to just have something ready. You don't want to start it from the scratch. And if you want to do that, then you just click on one of them. It will give you lot of things. But I don't advise you to do it unless you just would like to be curious and see what you can find inside of it. But I'd like for today to do something else. You can do that later. For example, you can try this contact because it's basically simple. You can get it. And if you click on it, it will create the database for you. First of all, you need to select where you're going to be putting it. And for me, I'm going to be putting it in the desktop, but you have to put it in Drive D in your folder under your name. So let's leave it like that for now. I'm just going to create it just so I can show you something. So it's going to download this template, and it's going to show that there's a lot of different components in a database. So you see that this is something that had just opened, and we have something here. I just would like to draw your attention to whatever is on the left side here. There are some tables, there are some queries, forms, reports, and even some more advanced programming things here. But we're not going to be seeing all these things. What we're going to be seeing, inshallah, in this 8 weeks, because this is the time we're going to be spending on Access. We're going to see all these, inshallah. So the way we organize things is a bit different. So let me just tell you what these are just for now, and then we're going to see them more in details later on. The tables are like the units of information. Every table contains some information related to each other. For example, you're a student, for example, in the SIS here, let's say, we're going to be having a table called student, a table called courses, a table called teachers, and so on. Many tables, each table will have a lot of information. In the table of students, we will have student ID, student name, and phone number, etc., etc. In the courses, course code, course name, maybe prerequisites, and things like that. We have all this information is organized in tables. So that's the major difference between Excel and Access. Even if sometimes it looks the same, this is not like a spreadsheet. You know, it looks like it's like a spreadsheet, but it is not. So this is the thing about the tables. Queries are some questions that I can ask to extract some information or do some more things into the database. But mostly we're going to see how to extract information from the database. And forms is like a way how to present the data to the user, who is the one who's going to be using the database. How to enter information. For example, you see this is a form. If I just open it, it shows me this is the form, this is the place where I can enter the data, and you can see this is the place where I can enter it. And the reports are like the forms, but if I'd like to print the results of something, I would like to see this in a way that is going to show me a list of something, and then it's available to be printed easily. That's the difference between all these components. What we're going to be doing today and this week is focusing on the tables. I mean, the first 2 weeks, we're going to be focusing on tables. So these tables are, if you open them, you're going to see it looks like the forms, but it's a small difference. And this is what I would like to talk about. Okay, so in order to do that, I would like to close this file and open a new one. And this is what I would like you also to do. Whenever you create a new one, this is what you need to do. Click on the blank desktop database. Again, make sure that you select the right place where you want this to be by clicking on this button. And for me, I want it to be in the desktop, for example. For you, you can select whatever you want. And then the name of this database. I'm going just to call it tests. Okay. Did you realize I just typed test and removed this .xaccdb? What is ACCDB? This .ACCDB is called? Sorry? This is Access DB for database, Access database, but this .ACCDB is called the extension. And this extension, like for Excel, it's XLSX or XLS. For Word, DOC or DOCX. So these are just the extension that tells the operating system which application is going to be used to open this file. So you can just leave it or just delete it. Even if I delete it, actually, it's going to be added automatically. If you look now, I'm going to the desktop and maybe just look from file. I might see the information about that file from here. if the computer responds quickly. Okay. So information, do I see it? I don't see it. Okay. Yeah, maybe save as. It will show me the object how it is saved. If I say just click on save as, all of it will be closed. Okay. And it's going to you see it will add this ACCDB there. And if I click on this desktop, it's already there. It was added automatically. So even if you remove it, it will be added. So don't remove it, just keep it. Now something important, sometimes when you open your own database, you get this security warning. What you need to do, if you have this security warning on, you cannot change anything in the database. You have to click on enable content in order for you to enable it. So because I did something, now the table is not there, but I just would like to start again, create a new one, and then make it the same tests. And I'm going to be putting this on the desktop again. For you, of course, remember this is your drive D in your folder. Click on create. It will tell you, do you want to replace? Yes, I want. Because I want you to see this is how it starts. It starts by opening a table for you. Why? Because Microsoft, they want to make things easy for you. They don't want you to get confused. If you see something like this, what should I do? There's nothing, it's empty. What can I do? You're going to confuse, you don't know what to do. Well, that's why they just open one for you. But even if you close this, that's fine. You have to go to create, and then you can create a table from here. Notice there are two ways to create a table. And these two ways, you can click on one, you can go back to the other one. It's not a problem. But let's just click on this one, because this is what you used to see when you start the database from scratch. Once you have this, I advise you to do one thing. Don't leave it this way, because this view is easy in a way, but it doesn't help you much to distinguish the differences between the different things. What I mean is, here, all these headers, as you can see, it shows me I can add some. These are called fields. Because we said the table is about something. Let's say we table of students. What are the different fields that I might find in a student? The fields are the columns. What kind of information, what kind of fields I might need for a student? Student ID, student name, phone number, things like that. In Access, I cannot have many different kind of fields. If I specify that this column is going to be for the student ID, all the lines, and we call them records in the database, all the records are going to be in that column, in that field, for that student ID. So that's the difference between Excel. Excel, you can create a form here and another one here, that's no problem. But for Access, no. A table is for one kind of information, and that kind of information is defined by the number of fields and the names. And also you do something else. You don't just specify what is the field. If you click to add a new field, it will tell you what is its data type. What kind of information is going to be inside that field? Is it just a number, which is like money, or is it a text, or a number without any currency symbol? Yes, no, date, and so on. There's a lot of different types of things. Anyways, these are the main things that we see. So you have to specify that what kind of information. For example, if I say this is yes, no field, you see it shows me in a different way. Then I can specify the name. Is it, for example, active or not? Student is registered or not, something like that. I cannot put anything inside here. And you see, you cannot put some things down there because you have to finish the line before going to the next line. You have to put the information about one record at a time. That's why I don't like this one, because this view might be confusing a little bit. It shows you the data and the fields themselves. While if you design a database, first you need to specify what are the fields, in which field, each of those fields, what's its name, what's the data type of it. And this is what we need to do when we go to this view over here. And let me just close this and show you. I mean, before closing it, maybe let me click on here. If I click on this one, let's cancel. It's the same. You have two options. Either it's datasheet view, which is this one, or the design view, which is this one here. But I cannot see the design view unless I save the table. So let's say for me, I'm going to name it students, and click OK. Now you see in the design view, I see a completely different way how to see this. Now I don't see it like columns, headings, and then the data afterwards. I just see now what are the different fields that I have, and what's their data type. Okay? That's the thing I would like you to realize. So now, for example, we would like to have student ID, like as the name of the field, and then this is not auto number, the data type should be a number. 316, whatever, 36110, and anything. Now, for example, I would just like to change this to the name, and it tells me, oh, name is something that is reserved in Access. Do you really know what you're doing? You really want to use it? You can say yes. And in some cases, this might create a problem, but anyways, you can just skip. You can accept it or change it for something like student name, for example. And this is going to be not creating any problem. So what kind of data type would be for the student name? Yeah, short text. Short text is a good one. And we can have like phone number. What kind of data type for a phone number? Okay, if you put number, I'll just like you to realize something. We'll keep it as a number. Let's say this is what I want, okay? I'm going to save, and now click on this to go back to the view. You can see now, I have the student ID, student name. I can double click so it can take the auto fit, the same problem, the same thing that we had in Excel. You see this is not showing right. I can go back again and make the U lower case and click back. Do you want to save? Yes. Now it shows me the right thing. Okay, I just would like to show you something interesting with the numbers. Let's say this is 36110.123, for example. No problem. I'm not sure. It's maybe somebody's ID. Student name Muhammad. Student phone number 050667 whatever. Oh, the 05 is gone. The 0 is gone. It's a number. A number. I cannot put zeros in the beginning because 1000 is 1000. It's the same number. So because it's a number, I can save it as a number, but I have to be careful. A phone number with zeros in the beginning, the zeros are going to be gone. So even if it's a phone number, it's better not to save it as a phone number. What should we do? Let's make it a text. Let's then go back here, and then this phone number, change it to short text. Let's save, and go back. Now you see, if as a text, I can put 0506, and then put spaces if I want. And it will keep the spaces as well. With numbers, I cannot put spaces. So that's why you need to do this. Okay, I'd like to show you something interesting. What happens if I have the same ID again entered, and then for Abdullah, for example, 0123 or whatever. It tells me, oh, the changes you requested to the table were not successful because they would create duplicate values. Two values, is it possible to have two students with the same ID? No. So in Access, there's a way to make this verification. And actually, this verification is on. I don't know if you realized it, but it was there. Did you realize that there was something special with this student ID? You see this here? Like some sort of a key. And you see, if I click on this one, it shows me the primary key is lit. So which means this is a primary key. If I set a field to be a primary key, it means I'm telling the database, make sure there are no repetitions. Make sure there are no repetitions. So if I disable this and go back to the view, do you want to save? Yes. Now if I add another one, 36110.123, and then Abdullah, and 01 whatever, it will accept it. But what happens if, okay, you don't want to have this, and then you would like to activate the primary key again? So I go back here and click on primary key, right? The problem now, I'm saying you can have two columns, two fields to be the primary key. Yes, you can. But then one of them can repeat, but both of them repeating is not what is acceptable. But I would like you to realize something. It's better, always better, to design the table before, by going here, without putting any data first. And then you put the data later on after you finish designing your table. What I mean with designing the table, specifying the names of the fields, their data type, which one is the primary key, and so on. All the different properties exactly that we're going to be put in here. If you don't do that, you'll be having some problems, like these ones. Look now, I'm trying to save. I'm trying to go back to see, do you want to save? Yes. It will tell me, sorry, I cannot save. Because you requested the table to be not having duplicates in student ID. But the data that is actually there do not respect this. You have some repetition of student IDs already. So you cannot activate it unless you fix this in the data. So I can click OK, I cannot save it. It will tell you I cannot save and everything. So you have to go back and disable the primary key, save it again, go to the data and remove this, or maybe change it to 4, for example. Now I can go back here. I don't have repetitions in the student ID, so if I set it as a primary key and I save and I go back to the view, it will be acceptable.
Should I save it after?
Yes, yes. You have to save it yourself. If you don't, it will tell you, do you want to save? And you have to say yes. So that's the thing about this. So I just would like to make something very simple. Now, the exercise I would like you to do is a very simple one. And what I'm showing you here is just a very complex one, but I would like you to discard some parts of it for now. We're going to be showing that for later. I'm going to give you 2 exercises for today. The first exercise is this one. I would like you to create a database and you name it exercise 1. And you save it in your folder in Drive D. And then you create this table, you call it this table students. So like these students that I created here. So you name it students. And then what I would like you to do, you have the student ID, name, address, and city, and so on. So I would like you to go here and the design, and then you select each one of these and make sure that its data type is what is needed. For example, this is data type number, fields size, byte. Oh, what is this field size? The field size is this one over here. Even if it's a number, I can specify what kind of number it is. Byte is a very small number from 0 to 250, let's say 256 or 55. But integers like medium numbers, all these are without decimals, right? Very good. The single and double are for decimals. So let's say they want to byte, so I want this to be byte. But now, again, this will illustrate the importance of designing the database first before entering the data. So now, because the 36110 that I entered is very large for byte, because byte take numbers from 0 to 255. I'm having like 3 million or whatever. So if I try to save now, it will tell me Microsoft encounters errors while converting the data. The content of fields in 2 records were deleted. Do you want to proceed anyways? Yes. And this index or primary key cannot be null or contain null values. So I have a lot of different problems. If I try to go back here, see, it was deleted, and it will ask me a lot of different problems because I have data inside of it. So my advice to you again, be careful. Delete everything if you had done something, and don't put any data first. First of all, leave this empty. Go to the design and design this as we want it. So for example, we want this to be name. Yes, I know name is there. What is the data type? Text, which is short text. Field size 25. And then go back to field size, and I would like to put 25. What is 25 in the field size of a text? Number of characters. I say now the name should have only 25 letters maximum. So that's the thing with this. For this caption, for these validation rules, just avoid them for now. Okay, all these things, avoid them for now. The major here, keep it as short text. We make things simple, okay? I don't want you to show too many things for this first time. So what I'd like you to do, just go ahead and the name, you choose the data type and the field size. Data type, field size. Don't forget, just for the first one, you set this as a primary key. We want this to be a primary key, so make sure that this is lit for this first key. And the rest, you enter this, and you put the correct field size or the correct data type. That's it. For example, here, just correct field size and data type. That's it. The last step, you go back here, and then you enter this data. And then you go back here, and then you enter the data there. When you're done this, you just call me, I'll need to check, and then you can go for the next exercise. For the next exercise, we're going to do something. In order to not waste time typing a lot of stuff, I'm going to give you a database, which is this one that is here. Let me show you. So this is the first exercise, okay? The first one that I showed you. Now this second one is this one over here, this DB2 filter. It's another exercise one about cars. I'm giving you this, okay? And I would like you to answer those questions based on this table. In order for you to not have to type this, I made it simple so we don't lose time typing. I gave you this file over here. You see DB2 filter sort exercise ACCDB, which is a database. And if you open it, and I think I have a copy open, let's say here. I already have a copy here, let's say this is the one. If you open it, you're going to see something like this. This is the cars. If you open it, this is the table. Using this table, I would like you to answer those questions. All these questions over here. You need to use the search that is from the here. There's this find here that you can find. There's this selection, like the filter. Remember the filter that we use in Excel? We can use the same one here. So I'd like you to get and do your best to answer those questions. You can answer those questions by saving them in Word or Excel, whatever you want. Just Word is meant to be more convenient, so you can put this in Word, and it's going to be, inshallah, you're going to answer them, and then we're going to check them at the end. So first thing, you do this exercise to get used to, and then the second thing, we're going to be applying to answer some questions using this database that I'm giving you. Do you have any questions? Is this clear that what everybody needs to do? Again, don't forget, I don't want you to do anything else except the data type, field size, and primary key for this one. Data type and field size. The rest, forget about it for now. Okay?
The first and the second step.
Sorry?
Just the first and second step.
1, 2, create a database, create a table, and then populate the table with inside the data in the records.
I just put 2 columns.
No, all of them. All of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and all of them.
We mean data type.
Yeah, for the data type and for each of these fields, only the data type and field size that you're going to change to make it as requested here.
All of them.
All of them. So for example here, data type is just yes, no. You forget about this one. Data type is about this, okay. Data type is about lookup. Well, this one is text. I told you this one. For this one only, it's text, and the field size is 50. We forget about this data lookup. Fine.
Just data type and file size.
The field size, yes. For all of them. And then you put the data. Then when you finish this, okay, when you finish, go to this exercise and answer these questions in a Word document. And you have the file, here this file, that contains this table with all the values, with all the records. So each line here is called the record, because we're not talking about a line like a line in Excel. Each line is a record. Each column is a field. All right? So go ahead.